So in this series of videos, I'm going to turn this into this. To start with, we've got a ShopRider Sovereign mobility scooter. I've started with this because it's the most popular mobility scooter in the UK. If you go on eBay and find one that doesn't work, you can probably pick one up for about 40-50 quid. Somebody may even give you one. Now, it does 4 miles an hour at the moment. By the time we finish with it, it's going to do 60. Better get on with it then. So to start with, we're going to take out all the electrical stuff. Get rid of all the old motor. And if you've managed to get yourself a working one, you might as well save that, because it might come handy for something else. So, this, to that, nice set of batteries, all gone! Now, because these scooters are normally designed to be folded up and go in the back of cars, they do come to bits. They should do. Oh, that's the bits. There we go. There we are. We don't need that. Right, okay, got the base. Now we need to start adding our own bit of chassis. Yeah. Don't chuck that away, you're going to need that in a bit. Okay, let's trim the frame up. Looks a bit like this now. So just get these bit of box section and weld them on here. Square. So we've got the first bit of frame done. Now I need to start offering the engine up and see where it's all going to go, so we can make the mounts, cut the bodywork, generally get everything in position. The engine, got a 125cc pit bike engine. All the links to how to buy these are all on my website. These are great little engines. You can get them in electric start, all sorts of different power outputs. My record breaking scooter, I used a 2-stroke water cooled engine. They're much faster, but these are a lot easier to work with. Right, that's the engine position sorted. Now, you may have noticed that the chassis stops a little bit too short. Well, I meant to do that because we're going to put these extenders on, but we're going to put them on underneath, and then they'll pick up just the right height for the bearings for the back axle. Clamp it up to there. That's where our engine's going to go. This one's lifting up now because it's sat on the floor. Now you have to make the engines quite low on these things because you've not got a lot of room above it for all the carb and stuff like that. So I'm just going to stick a little bit of plate where this bit of wood is. And for now, that's the only engine mount we're going to do, but there will be one later. Got our base mount, it's going to slot in between here, and we'll put it down like that. Get it to an acceptable level. I'd say that's acceptable. Okay, that's the engine located. Next video, I'm going to make the rear axle, set all the brakes up, and right, that's it, because that's quite a lot of work. And there we are. I think we're making a pretty good job of this, I'd say. So that's that. Okay, we're turning this into this. And so far, we've done this. Now, next job is rear axle. Now, I like to use the original mobility scooter wheels, so when you're finished, it still looks like a mobility scooter. You could use a go-kart axle, go-kart wheels, but it wouldn't quite look as authentic. So with that in mind, better get on with it, haven't we? For our axle, you're going to need a bit of metal. So you want a bit of 17mm bright steel. I say bright steel's perfectly round, it's lovely. It'll sit on the wheel nicely. Look at that, nice fit. And then you're going to need yourself some bearings. If you get some of these, they kind of look like a little clock that's set on your mantelpiece. There's a link on my website where you can buy these. And also, it'll fit over there absolutely perfect. Such a tight fit. Oh yeah, look at that. You see, look at that. No play, nice fit. Now then, you need to offer it up to our machine to cut it down to length. So it wants to be a bit closer than that. We sit there like that, that'll sit on there like that. There we go, so our wheel's going to stick out a little bit, but you have to admit, it's going to look pretty cool, isn't it? Because it'd be like, you know, flare the arches, and like, wah! Yeah, a little mark on there. There we are, mister. So that's the axle cut to size. Now before we mount it on the frame, we need to know the chain length. To know the chain length, we need to get the sprocket set up. Now for the rear sprocket, I don't use a rear sprocket, I actually use another front sprocket. Now to get these to fit over the shaft, we've got to get rid of the little teeth in the middle. Now to get the teeth out of these is quite tricky. Drill bits won't touch it, it's too hard. So stick it in a vise, and then get a die grinder. Lovely job. Sprocket now fits over the shaft, but it's a little bit wobbly. We don't want that. So if you get one of these collars, details also available on my website, push that over. They're a really nice tight fit, and then just slide it down, butt it up to that, and that will stop it rocking. But it will be rocking. Oh aye. Now to check to see if we've got it on nice and square, you just put it on the bench and then roll it down. That's on nice and square. Look. So, we want to cut that there. Okay, so we've got the chain on. Now we can pull the axle back and then work out where to drill our holes to fix the bearing into the frame. Hey, what about these chain adjusters, eh? Looks good. Next thing, we need a brake disc. So for the brake disc, cut a circle of metal out using a bimetal hole saw, and then using the pilot hole for that, you can put like a disc in the middle of the brake disc to keep it central for you to mark out the 4 holes. Bolt it on, and then just simply weld another one of them little shafty collary things on I've got. Make sure it's all nice and square, slide it over the axle, bang, that's your brake disc. Yeah! The caliper's actually off a kid's quad bike, which is really good because they have a right hand brake lever for the back brake for some reason, and then you just mount a bit of a plate to it and then slide that over there and then fix it to either the side of the frame or the plate that we put the engine on. Okay, nearly there. 2 more things to do. First thing, we'll need to put a centre bearing in, because when you accelerate at the moment, this is just a mild steel axle, it's just going to bend it. So I've kind of pressed the bearing into a bit of tube, and then we'll fix it to the back of the engine mount. But if you can't do that, then you can use one of these bearings, and they'll clamp in and be about the right distance apart, but you won't have any adjustment in that. And then last of all, we've just got to put some keyways in for the axle. So for the keyway, I've got a mill, so I just do a nice little slot. If you haven't got a mill, I've done it before. If you drill a row of holes and then file out the little ridges in between it, you can do it. It takes a long time and it's not as good, but you know, if you've not got a mill, you've not got a mill. So, and then just drill and tap an 8mm thread in the end, and then it's done. Stick it back on the machine. There we are, that's the axle. Now you may have noticed that the sprocket and the brake disc aren't actually fixed to the axle, but once we know everything is definitely where we want it, we'll weld them on a bit later. Anyway, next video, electronics and the carb, yeah. Oh, it's the third video, you know what we're doing. Right, start with carb. So the carb, when it comes with the engine, the mount kind of holds it about there, and that's normally fine if it was on the motorbike. That's no good to us because we've got like a plastic cowl, and we've only got about 2.5 inches above the engine. So we need to do away with this, make a new one, and then kind of sit it down here, so it's kind of like comes straight off and straight into it. So I've been to the scrapyard and I found this, look, these little tight little bends. So we're going to cannibalise them and make our own little carb in there. I've got my special saw. Right! Okay, next thing, the electrics. We've got to get all this mangled into it somewhere in a neat fashion that doesn't corrupt anything else. Right, that's got the heart of the electric size. We've got most of it all wound down here, all tightly packaged. Stuck the battery at the front, and I've separated the starter circuit because we can do that ourselves up here. And also I've put like a bit of pipe along the bottom to thread the cables through, and the fuel hose goes in there as well. Because I've noticed these things, they're quite low ground clearance. If you go over like bumps and stuff, it tends to whack the bottom of the frame. So if you put that in there, it kind of protects them. Stops you ripping the fuel hose off and then snagging all the cables. Okie doke, let's put the handlebars on, clutch, accelerator. Now while I've got the handlebars on, you can finish the electrics up to the control. So I've used the key for the old mobility scooter as the engine kill, and then I've kind of hacked into the old horn button and turned that into our electric start. Hey! And the throttle and clutch cable we have to do in like 2 halves and then join them together in the middle. So get the throttle cable that come with the twist grip assembly and put that into the carburetor, then kind of like bend that, fold it down there. It's not a bad idea to put the exhaust pipe on so you can see where that is, so you don't end up routing cables through where that's going to be, and then hence them getting too close and melting. Now, same with the clutch. Put the clutch one onto the engine, stick the cables and the twist grip and the clutch lever, and then kind of weave them through the frame a little bit. So we've got 2 cables from the engine and 2 cables from the controls, and then we need to make them join together. In the middle here, we're going to do that by drilling holes in these little brackets here, and then putting some little adjusters in and then clamping them together. So to join the 2 cable ends together, just use cable connectors. Right! Gears next. Bit tricky, but amazing. First thing, take the gear lever that comes with the engine, chop it down to about 2 inches, drill an 8mm hole in the end of it, and then whack that on the engine. Now, gear shifters are all going to go on the floor here. There's a tiny bit of chassis bar which I've left out, but we can attach that now. Now we know where all the cables and stuff go. So for the gear linkage, I'm using these little rose bearings which I've put on the end of a bit of a rod. If you get female ones, you can just use a bit of threaded bar, but I haven't got any of them, so I've got this. So put that on under here. So I've got a rod coming from the engine, so we need something to connect it to. So I've got these blocks of aluminium, drilled holes in them, and we'll mount that up underneath the floor, and then our rod will connect to this, and then that will be like a start of our little lever system. And then coming off it, we're going to have like 2 levers coming off front and back, which will have posts sticking up. So we've got the old cross link in, and we just need to put 2 little arms coming off it for these to sit on. There we go, there's our little gear rocker. Well, let's put it back on. So we've got our rocker system, which is rocking. Now if we get some more rose bearings, put a bit of threaded bar in the end, and then I've made a little cap for it, but you could do it out of a nut and a washer. And we're going to stick them on our arms so they stick up like that, and they'll come through the floor. Now to stop them flopping around, you need to put a little bit of plate around there, drill some holes in it, and they'll be fixed in, and then that'll be our gears. Now rather than putting a threaded bar through it, if you put a bit of pipe over it, it'll get a bit smoother when it goes up and down. Okay, next video, just the exhaust, a bit of frame left. and we take it for a spin. Wow! Nearly done! Woo! Few more things to do and then we can have a go on it! Okay, start by sticking the base thing back on. You might have to drill a couple of holes in it because since it was last on there's gear shifters and all sorts of things in the way now. Right, so we've got that sat on there and then we need to cut the engine cover to fit round this bit here because this is just going to protrude slightly. Now then, mark where the seat post has got to come out and then we can see now where we've got space because we've got to put the exhaust system and then we've got to make the rest of the frame so it holds the top of the engine and it's nearly done. Remember this bit from the first video? You need this now. Now this is the thing that holds the seat stem in, so you need to separate that, so cut this bar off, cut that little niggly bit off and get this bit of box section. Why are you using a fresh bit of box section? It's a funny size for some reason. Seat post in at the right height, just one more engine mount to do. Now, one thing to consider when you're doing this bit of frame is don't package it so tight that you won't be able to get the engine out, and it's even useful, like these bits, having them as like bolt off option so you can just unbolt them and bolt them back on again, because if I'd have done them solid you'd never get the back axle out without taking the whole engine out, and that's not good. Second engine mount's done, engine's in, everything's good. Right, last job, exhaust pipe. Bit tricky this, but you know, just cut it, bend it. If you can do it on the machine, that's a lot easier. And also, if you split it into two parts, to slot together, then you can get it in and round everything else. Now, the new Formula 1 cars have got like single exhaust pipes going straight out the back. So I'm going to mimic that on this and have a single exhaust pipe straight out the back. Last job, fuel tank. All I've done is just got a fuel mixing pot, put a bolt in it which I've drilled a hole through and kind of shaved off, but if you haven't got one of them, you can just buy a fuel tap, stick that in the side or whatever, and then shove this in the basket. Because you know, a plastic tub in a granny's basket is not going to look out of place, is it? And the fuel hose, which just sticks to the bottom, you just stuff that on. Right, strip it down, paint the frame, finish the welding, boom! 60-mile-an-hour mobility scooter. Don't forget, there's a full write-up and description on my website with pictures and everything you need to know. Links to buy everything. Go and have a look at it. You'll find it useful. But underneath that,